Ni kedai Bati CTV. Bat Pdiang pet yaki kubor paman kesni. Balawan rasya Pdiang Modrina Auto Enterprises Maulanong Kwar TSS Road Shillong. Ringkat bat ka Orange Nissan Looms Hop Ho Shillong. Wan bantiet yaka kali Datsun ready go batamai. Kabas kem bat bidor.
Unong yalam jong kaliang persya u Dr. Mukul Sangma hakis Pdiang urisau arajar arpo ulatakran teng ya menteri rang ba ka sarkar jela u Conrad ki Sangma da ka bekeno ba ula Pdiang Matlah ya ka farmers bill klem da khot yeslok shwa ya ki nongrep ki badan ha ka jela ha ka jingi kren bat kilat pathai khubor hadin balawai ka jing yalang ba ka seng kongres kala penlong ha kongres bhavan Shillong ban persya ya ka farmers bill Palawan ra da sarkar National Democratic Alliance balayalam da sengsan perthai ka Bharatiya Janata Party u Dr. Mukul Sangma ulaong baki nongrep kidei ubudlom jong ka yo kakot hagari hanrei ban supenlong ain klem kono ka jing menjur naki nongrep kalong ka bamdei bat dai ban penrem da baro.
The Indian National Congress has always seen how farmers can be best assisted in order to ensure that farmers are able to overcome the challenges associated with farming activities. And I must tell you, rather I must begin by saying that farming sector is one of the most challenging sector. We have too many enemies, we have too many hurdles, too many challenges. Farmers are confronted by various instances of natural calamity, pest attack, market distress, supply chain distress, so many things. Having understood these problems, the Indian National Congress has come up with a number of initiatives, number of measures in the preceding decades post-independence. There was a time when the nation was, subjected to the kind of situation when people suffered due to not having self-sufficiency in food production. This was one issue which was aggressively handled by Indian National Congress, and today the comparison between the past and the present will tell you what I mean. Today at least the nation is to a great extent self-sufficient in our food production. We are not only talking about self-sufficiency in our food production, but we are today talking about nutritional security as well, not just food security. So we have come thus far, and these are all because of number of initiatives all along in the preceding decades. But today, as we face this new unfolding situation in the farming sector with the new act which has been enacted recently, there is a deep concern. And the concern is not political, but concern is based on what is going to be on the ground post-implementation of this act. Today, what is the biggest challenge with Indian farmers? The Indian farmers have always found it difficult to work against the market manipulation of big corporate houses. The majority of the Indian farmers are actually small farmers. We always refer as small farmers, marginal farmers, small and medium farmers. Therefore, the land holdings have always been an issue. The farmers don't have large land parcels for farming activities. Therefore, the issue of protecting their resources, the land resources, always remain crucial. I think we have been a witness to that jamindari system in the past. Okay, now through legal backdoor, there is a camouflage attempt to restore back to similar kind of situation in a different style. Concern about the ultimate challenges to which the farmers of the state and the farmers of the country will be pushed to. We can understand very well when we talk about contract farming. One is that, okay, there will be certain legal documentation. The legal documentation to enable corporate houses with deep pockets to use the land, and the terms and conditions of the agreement will always have a component of dispute redressal, which usually is in the form of appointing an arbitrator mutually agreed to by both the parties. Now what happens in the arbitration? If it goes beyond the arbitration, then it goes to higher courts, up to the extent of Supreme Court. Now, is it possible for our small farmers to fight against big corporate houses, big businessmen in the event of any dispute, to redress them, to resolve them. Ultimately, the result will be that many of our small farmers will see alienation of their precious land, the main resources, and what's going to be the fallout for the generation next. This is something which has to be understood from the legal perspective, keeping in mind what has happened in the past when we saw such similar kind of dispute redressal mechanism within our country. Another point which is important is again the overall issue of the big corporate houses slowly compelling the farmers to rely on hybrid seeds. I'm a farmer myself, so when we buy seeds, you will end up seeing that okay, your input cost only up to the seeds and other inputs, forget about the cost of farming, will come to 30 to 40%. And farmers will be compelled to actually buy the seeds developed by the corporate houses because farmers will slowly lose their seeds when they don't farm themselves. Because the choice of crops, what they will grow in a particular season, will be all dictated by the format of that agreement, and that will be the ultimate reason for the farmers to ultimately lose their seeds. The seed is a very important component. And afterwards, manipulating the price in order to ultimately fill up their pockets at the cost of the farming community are the challenges that we are already seeing. And what is going to happen is that ultimately this is going to be a dominant activity. I was calculating in terms of percentage of one particular crop because every year I grow them. 30% of the input cost goes to the seed. Input cost which includes also labor cost and everything. So this is the kind of situation which we are as a farmer already seeing in front of us. Therefore, instead of what is being done by the government, who says that they are concerned about the farmers? If you are concerned about the farmers, you should talk to the farmers. What we want, what is the thing that the farmers need? What is the kind of legal intervention that the farmers need? What is the kind of legal protection that the farmers need? Don't we see, various cooperative movements which stood the test of time? The cooperative movement involving farmers. Amul India is one example. We have already, a success story revolving around those kind of legal format which enables the farmers to come together and try without being, subjected to that kind of challenges, unforeseen legal challenges of even up to the extent of losing their land. So therefore, if you become analytical about what could have been done and what should have been done and what has been done, that is where you will get all the answers. So what should have been done was not done, but what should be done is being done. And that is something which doesn't augur well for the future generation. Today, every government is duty bound, constitutionally, morally responsible to protect the interests of the farmers. Had the government not seen at the challenges that will unfold for the farmers in the years ahead with this legislation, what we see in Punjab, all the political parties in the state have come together and started opposing this. But then states like Meghalaya, I don't know whether they ever have even sought to be consulted as a state. Why have our forefathers fought to have this beautiful state of ours? Because when you have state of your own, we are able to take into cognizance the concerns of our people across different sectors. And therefore, today the most vulnerable group of our people belong to this farming community. As I have said in the preceding remarks, that the kind of challenges that the farming community face, no other sectors face this kind of challenge. Today, unfortunately, the overall approach of the union government has been seen as a attempt to do things with a complete disregard to our federal system. That doesn't augur well for our democracy. Our democracy, the sustainability of our democracy is a crucial issue today. This democracy which we achieve has not come without a price. Therefore, this must be protected. The states must defend the spirit of federal system. Today, we are talking about this in respect of federal system. We are talking about even non-release of the states' revenue share out of the GST collected. So many things are happening, and then we allow this whole federal system to be slowly diluted, neglected, and disregarded. This is something which is going to set a very, very wrong precedence and will have ramification on the sustainability of the spirit of our true democracy. The stakeholders at any point of time to understand what the farmers want. What is the spirit of our democracy? For the people, by the people, of the people. And you made so many promises during election. The promises which is reflected in the manifesto. Today, in the spirit of democracy, when you're talking about the interests of one particular stakeholders of the community, you have to know what they want. You have to know what is the kind of intervention, legal or otherwise, even interventions through various programs. What exactly are the farmers wanting? What are the challenges that farmers face? You're talking about this government who is not bothered even to look at how the farmers are affected by the natural calamity. You are seeing that the government who do not even bother to even have the normal response during a disaster affecting farmers. I was talking to one farmer from Jante Hills. Spells of 2 floods, flash floods, destroying all the crops, destroying all the seedlings. No response. What will they know about the farmers? The agony of the farmers. Why do you see so many farmers committing suicide across the nation? Are they doing it for fun? There are challenges. There are difficulties. Only the wearer of the shoes know where the shoe pinches. So therefore they should talk to the stakeholders and then say whether they should welcome or not